All right. Thank you, Marcus, for the music. I'm over here bobbing my head. I'm jamming to the soliloquies. Yeah, I'm jamming over here. But welcome you all. Greetings. I am Bryson Scott. I just want to welcome you back to another episode of our podcast, Visions and Voices, Unearthing Black Brilliance. And today we have someone special. She's all the way across the nation. Um, she is here to exhibit her art. She has some eye-catching art that will make you excited about creating with AI. She is considered an expert when it comes to AI art and is well versed in the evolution of the large language models of the AI tools. She has been at the forefront of advocating for the use of AI in creating art and has really been hands-on with some of these AI tools. May I introduce you to Eula Todd, who will be presenting the power of imagination. Woo! We usually had the claps going on in the background, but you know, I guess we having some technical difficulties, of course, with technology. It works when it wants to work. It has a mind of its own. But today we will look into the processes behind her art, dig into those unknown areas of her mind and her creations, and really get a feel of why AI from her point of view and perspective. Hello, Eula. How are you today?
Hi, Bryson. I am great and just thankful for this opportunity and excited to talk to you today.
Yes, she will be presenting the power of imagination, and this is one of the topics that I love to dive into. This is currently not. This is not research, but this is like something that I do on my part time, my personal time. I love imagination, and I love what we as Black people could do with our entire the totality of how we imagine things. And so, do you have anything you want to say or share before we get started today?
No, other than, again, I'm just grateful for this opportunity, grateful to be here. I know we've had some great artists before me who have blazed the trail with your podcast series. So I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Yes, thank you so much. And I ain't gonna waste nobody's time. I'm ready for this. And we finna dive right into it. So can you please briefly give me an overview or introduction about yourself and your artistic practice?
Okay, again, my name is Eula Todd. I'm coming to you from Birmingham, Alabama, from the
Woo.
205. I am a student at TSU, and that's kind of how I got looped in with the TSU Smart Center. I consider
Hey.
myself a part of the Smart
Woo-hoo.
Center. I'm a member of the team. I tell them, y'all got to keep me included. So I am a student there. And as I said, working on my doctorate degree, and Dr. Melton, who has been very instrumental in my educational journey, um, did a class with AI and we got into the art. And so that's what brings me to where I am today.
That's good. That's great. Yeah, she's been a trailblazer for AI for the past 3 years now. And like every day she's like coming up with new updates and new tools that we could use not only as student staff but in faculty, but something that we can use to monetize and get into our creative flow. Um,
Yes.
as this new age of tools is starting to emerge, as technology itself is starting to emerge and becoming synonymous. So I like your. Can you just give me like what gave you the idea of the title, the power of imagination?
The power up because with this AI art tool, if you can think it, it can create it. And that is so powerful. You know, as
Right.
children, when children are small, we teach them to develop their imagination. We have the imaginary friends, and you know, they have imaginary scenes. They pretend being what they see themselves as in the future. Maybe we've all
Right.
played like we were the teacher or the preacher even as children. And so even that young, the power of imagination is at work. But I think as we grow older and begin to experience life, we lose that power of imagination because we are so
Hmm.
involved in the reality of
Right.
life.
Right.
And so this gives you the opportunity in your downtime, in your me time, to reactivate that imagination that was so instrumental when we were children.
Exactly. And I kind of touched on those topics my in my last session with Dr. Malloy, and she was really just really explaining how you could be your true and authentic self when you're dealing with imagination, and that kind of like it made a light bulb. It,
Yeah.
it created a light bulb for me in that moment, and like it was just it confirmed and it added some type of extra confluence of what I was doing, not only for me professionally but me personally. I see what you said. I see that we keep those imaginative faculties kind of dormant, and we really don't have any outlets for those to be put out there for the world to see. And AI has been a very influential tool, not only tool, but it's a tool that has opened the floodgates and the gateways for creatives to push themselves even further than what they even imagine themselves to be. When we speak of imagination, I was reading a chapter in my book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And it literally says that the human brain and the human mind really can't determine or make what's real of reality and what's being going on in the imaginative faculties. And I was like, and so when you speak about that imagination, it just shows like we have lost those skills. We have lost that creative ability, and now it is time to step in our truth. Not only using our imagination, but use our creativeness, using our powers. I feel like the imagination is it's a power to me, and I really embark on that. That's really my testament, and I hope that's really a testament for other artists to actually make a safe space for them to thrive. And so I'll ask you another question. What
So
initially
look,
drew? Oh,
imagination is our superpower.
huh, ha, ha, because we supernatural, huh?
Yes.
Yes. What initially drew you to creating art?
Uh, it was actually, this is 2024. So 2022, maybe December, end of the year. I'm sitting on scrolling through Facebook, and you know, the Divine Nines all have the majority of them have their Founders Day celebrations in January. And I start seeing this beautiful artwork of this young lady putting her tributes out to Delta. She was a Delta, and the pictures were beautiful. Never in a million years did I think they were AI art. I thought they were actually real people. I thought they were real photos. And somehow it came to my attention that this art was generated through artificial intelligence. And I'm like,
Wow.
whoa. And I think she must have put on the post what tools she used to somehow I found out. And I immediately got the tool and jumped in there and started trying to create.
And what in that exact moment, what did you feel like? What did you feel like? What gave you that rush of inspiration? Like, what did you feel in that
The moment I created my first piece,
moment?
I felt amazing, and so amazing that I had to make myself shut it off and go to bed. I would be up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. My husband is a police officer who works the 4 to 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. shift, and he would get home 3 o'clock-ish, and I'm still up, and I'm waiting on him, and I'm like, hey, come see what I did. And then, it gave us the opportunity. Okay, he's a photographer, and so I learned that using some photographer terminology helps you to create better art. So I would, we begin to partner. Hey, tell me, if I want my shot to look like this, what do I need to say for the lens or the aperture? Give me some of that terminology that I need to get what I'm looking for. And so it just gave me the feeling of like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love art, but I can't draw stick people. That's just the reality of it. I've always loved art, and I've leaned more toward photography and video. So as I said, as kids, we have those imaginations. And so my mom fed that passion for me. She would buy me video cameras. She would buy me cameras. So I've always loved photography kind of things. And not having the ability to draw, was just a hindrance because I do love it. But now I can take what I'm thinking and tell it to this instrument, and it can create it for me. So it helps us handicapped artists to become artists.
I wouldn't necessarily say handicapped artists. I would say more people who aspire to be in that realm.
Yes.
It's like, I'm a natural artist. I've been doing this since I came out the womb. And to see like how it could change not only me as an artist, but me how I see AI and how I can use AI, it just lit a fire under me. Because when I was explaining, I was showing some pictures to my mom, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, what are you using? I need it now." She be on that thing to, like you said, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, filling it around, typing keywords, and she'd be sending me pictures and stuff like that. Look at this, look at this, look at that. And I'd be like, man, see, look what I done did. Look what I done did. And it's just that curiosity just sparking. And it's just like, it connects you back to your inner childhood. Like, it's very therapeutic, and it's very healing as well. And that's the platform that I'm always speaking on, which is mental health and healing, because art is a utility. It is utility for that. It is a utility to not only see what we see and what we're going through, not only culturally but personally. And so I love that you tapped into how you said it gives a novice artist a actual chance to become a high end artist. So yes, I love that. Do you want to input or anything on what I'm saying? I see.
Well, as an artist, as someone who is an artist, it's encouraging to hear you say that, because I feel that some artists, I guess the proper word is, they're not enthusiastic about those of us who now have the ability to create some art, who are not pure artists. I'll say that. So I'm not a pure artist. I don't draw. I don't do that. But I found that people who are sometimes are not as enthusiastic about this AI tool. So to hear your enthusiasm is refreshing.
Oh yes, because I see, like, I'm a visionary, so I'm really thinking, and I'm always like, I'm not opposed to too much of anything. I actually love being creative and being curious and being fearless enough to change some of my ways of thinking or change some of the habits that I've developed in my lifetime. And we have a few comments here. Leslie Harper says, Eula has a brilliant mind. We got Dr. O'Keefe Hassel says, awesome tips using photo terminology to improve prompting to get an image. I feel like he's coming from an academic side, because we speak a lot about how to prompt photos to get the images that you want to give. And then we have our GA Adama here. She says the images showing now is lit. She said it's lit. She said it's lit, y'all.
That comfortably me. God, I think that speaks to us as Black women. It's just powerful. We are comfortable in the skin that we're in with our big hair. And not only am I comfortable, but that to me speaks power. Because of how comfortable I am, I'm also confident in who I am. So I absolutely love that image.
I love it too. it's just like you can see the eyes. She's locked in, and
She's
she's
locked
like
in.
nobody could like. She's unshakable, and that's where I feel the art realm has the potential to grow because I feel unshakable at all times. Like when I'm creating, I can see something right now and just go in my mind and create like replicas of it over and over and over and over and over. And that's my creative faculties as a creative. Um, so why AI and how do you use it to leverage not only your personal work or things you do in the community and personally?
Well, again, why AI? Because it's the
Mm-hmm.
power of imagination. And as you said, it's also therapeutic. When I've had a hard day and I just want to check out or want to chill out, I don't want to engage on Facebook. I don't want to do any of that or any of the social media. I can sit down at the computer and I can pull up this tool. I use Midjourney.
Mm-hmm.
I've started using Adobe's Firefly, but those are
Ooh.
my primary tools I use. And I can just sit down and create. And in creating, it takes me out of, again, because of the power of imagination, it takes me out of the reality of whatever happened that day and gives me a few minutes of time to just relax and enjoy and marvel in the wonder of what this tool did when I gave it my words. So it's the power. Oh, I'm a
The
dog
pretty
lover.
stuff.
I'm a dog lover, and I have a pity, and that looks just like my baby. So imagine dogs are humans' best friends, man's best friends,
Mhm.
and to come home after you've had a long day, you have this sweet baby to greet you.
Right.
But then at the same time, I tell this tool to give me this colorful picture, and it
Mhm.
gives me this. So it's just like it elevates your day.
Okay, for somebody who's like just for somebody who's just now getting into the realm of what we're doing, say if like this is their first time viewing this podcast and want to go really deep into creating their own art, what tips or what prompting tips could you give or could you give and what did you exactly prompt to make this photo right here?
Okay, so I'll tell you this. The first tip is don't give up. My first images were horrible. I may have had somebody with 12 feet and three arms or something, but I didn't give up. I kept going. You take the prompt, you tweak the prompt.
Mhm.
And so if your initial prompt isn't what you want, tweak it. If it doesn't give you what you want, okay, what do I need to change about this prompt? What went wrong in the picture? So I go back and I tweak the prompt and you regenerate and you see, well, did I get closer to what I was trying to achieve? And so you keep going. You keep regenerating, you keep prompting, you keep tweaking until you get your desired outcome. And then when you're close, if you're close enough to what you want, then you have tools. I've used tools in Canva, the magic eraser. If I got an extra finger, the tools are much better now with the fingers because they used to be horrible with fingers.
Yes.
Yeah, but they have improved. So I I've used those tools like the magic eraser. One of the great things about Adobe Firefly is that it takes you into Adobe Express and you
Mhm.
can edit your images right there inside of their platform. So that's one of the great things about using Adobe Firefly. You can go right into Adobe Express and make any edits. You can add words to you. You could really create a finished product over in
Right.
Adobe Express if you're interested in monetizing or doing something like that. Then
Something. Right.
Adobe Firefly puts everything right there in one package. Whereas with Midjourney, you're going to have to export it and put it into something else to get your finished product.
Got you. Got you. And more so speaking on your journey, what are your biggest artistic influences?
Well, again, the young lady whose artwork I saw, her name is Shauna Jones, and she
Shauna.
was really like my biggest influence. And I am excited to see that things have just taken off for her. She was able to monetize her images at the Delta convention. She sold out in no time, and she's traveled all across the United States here just with her artwork. But
Right.
I'm in these AI groups on Facebook. Uh, if I see some out there, I join them. And it gives me the opportunity to see what the other artists are doing. And so that's
Right.
kind of the inspiration that I use. Let's see what everybody else is doing. Or over
Mhm.
in Mid Journey, you get to visit the community and see the artwork if they're on a public server. If Mid Journey has a public server and a private server. If you're going to monetize, I definitely recommend that you pay the money to get the private server. Otherwise, your art is available for everybody. So the thing is with that, and it's a good tool, especially for beginners if you're using Mid Journey, because you can see the prompts. You can see what prompts someone used. And if you're going to use someone else's prompt, they only ask that you don't use it exactly as they created it. Use change something in it to make it yours. That's all they ask. But again, if you're planning on monetizing, then spend the money, invest in yourself, and get the private server. So all of my images are created on a private server. Therefore, they are not in the community for people to view and see my prompts.
Right. And I like how you literally like put the nail in the coffin, because when we as creatives are novice, right, we are looking around trying to find our niche and trying to find what is valuable to us and what is sentiment to us, and we really have no idea of where to go. And like how you said, you join communities, you got to look at other people's prompts, and you was just out there viewing art. And when I say a good copycat creates a great creative, because I use it in my processes as well. Because when I'm looking at different folks' stuff, and I'm just like, how could I use that to enhance my game? And I do it, and once I get my desired outcome, I like what I've done. I'm being a good copycat. I have references that I can go back to and pinpoint. Oh, I made this inspired me because it came from here, or this person, or that person, and it just keep going and going and going. So,
And it
how many other?
does. And so
Oh,
that's the power again. So it gives you another tool, as especially as you said, for a novice. And that's where I also learned some of um, the camera photography language, in seeing someone else's prompt, when I needed to do a long shot, or or depth of field, learning about those terms that I needed to use, and also learning about different artists, because
right,
that's another thing that helps your prompt. If you tell it to style my photo in the style of, and you have a particular artist that you're fond of, then it's going to use that artist's influences on your artwork. So that's part of it also. And I learned that in Mid Journey. Oh, so this is in the style of this artist, and then it gives you the opportunity to learn more about some artists. And so
right.
go Google that artist and see what their work looks like. And okay, well, let me try that. Let me add that.
Great, excellent, excellent. And another question of mine is, when you're in the stages of your process, right? What does that process look like? What are you feeling? What are you thinking about? And what is your overall mood to express that certain theme or express that certain idea that you have in mind that you are trying to like? You wrestling with yourself to get out with.
But typically, I'm creating for two reasons. One is out of need. Um,
Mhm.
if I need, if I'm producing a flyer or doing a presentation or something like that, then I'm creating out of need. And so that's basically what determines what I'm doing at that time. What is it that I need? um, March 21st is coming up. I have a daughter with Down syndrome. So 321 is National Down Syndrome Day. Now, when I started this a couple of years ago, Midjourney would not allow me to create an image using the word Down syndrome. And I understand,
I didn't
as
even
a
know that.
protective measure, I understand, because society can be cruel sometimes, but I'm glad that they've loosened. And so now I can tell it to create me a superhero, uh, Black female teenager with Down syndrome.
Right.
And so now it gives me that opportunity, and so I'm grateful for that the platform is advancing. um,
Hmm.
and I guess they have protective measures in there, to keep people from misusing images. But so it's out of need. And then when I'm just enjoying creating, I absolutely love steampunk. I don't know, and I guess it's the merge of future and past
Hmm.
that fascinates me about steampunk. So usually when I'm creating for fun, it's something in steampunk. I'm going to create a steampunk tiger. I'm going to create a steampunk bird. I'm going to create a steampunk something. Uh,
Everything.
yeah, just because to me, those images, again, I guess it's the bonding of the future with the past that just fascinates me with steampunk. So when I'm just creating for fun and just relaxing and having just me time, those are usually the images I'm going to create. And then a lot of times, just current events can uh, influence what I'm doing. If
Right.
something is going on big, then I may want an image that represents what's going on at that time, and not just maybe not to even publicize. But Midjourney is creating me a photo album, my own
Right.
portfolio, so I'll have those images there to look at. And this is Black History Month. Last year, in January, actually starting before Black History Month, I started and I would post every day on this day in Black history, and
Right.
kind of getting some of the least known facts about Black history. We all know the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's. We know those well-known people, but and the Rosa Parks, but focused on some of the less well-known people in the movement and in the struggle and in our history. So I did a series of that last January on this day in Black history, just something to keep things like that at our forefront.
Yes, and we have a question here. They asked, "Can you tell a bit more about what steampunk is? Is that an app or?"
No, steampunk is it's a type of art. So when I tell it to create my art, I would say create me a steampunk photo. And so steampunk again, it's a genre subgenre of science fiction, and it
Fiction and like
incorporates.
yeah,
Yeah, and it
like
incorporates the past and the present, and it's usually inspired by the 19th century. So it's going to have some kind of machinery in it, some kind of technology in it. So it's really a type of art. So I tell it to create me a steampunk picture of, or create me a steampunk tiger, create me a steampunk black family. And so you're going to see the pictures with the people with some kind of um, technology or something on them, some kind of machinery or something incorporated into the picture.
right. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Your flyer for the power of imagination. I exactly use that steampunk image, and I love that image right there because it shows like the controversy of technology, um, biotechnology, and how those worlds are blending within one another. Because it is a controversy because it's like, oh, mm, mm. But it's just to give you something very outside of the spectrum of what we think we are, and things that we can look up to, and things that we can imagine ourselves into being. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And for
So
me,
that's
this picture symbolizes this is, I guess I could call this one, I didn't name this one, but I could either call this one Inside Out or I'm Every Woman. Because for me, this signifies what we as women are.
mhm,
What it entails for us in a day. I'm mom. I got to go to work. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. And we have all these working together at all times. So we're running on all cylinders. And,
right.
and so if you were to open us up, this is probably what you see. We're wired. We're wired. We're wired for success as women. And
Mhm,
so, and I have some male images like this as well. But it's universal for humans. You know, we're
right.
all operating on so many fronts across the day. We're operating as an employee. We're operating as a father. We're operating as a brother. We're operating, all throughout the day. We're moving and we're shaking and we're being who we are, where we need to be, when we need to be, and that looks different at different times of the day.
And so when creating this podcast platform, Visions and Voices, we really took the perspective of unearthing our brilliance, not our suppression. What I mean, we also have like we have all the data that we need to look at how we're being oppressed, what oppressed us, and stuff like that. But I'm more of a forward thinker, and I'm looking to how we can change that narrative. We is and when you see it in art, it's the same narrative, but how can we switch it up? How can we make these kids and staff, faculty, and everybody else in the community open up about forward thinking, just forgiving, having that the strength to forgive, having that strength to put aside, not put aside, but put aside what we have been through and look forward into the brighter days of hope. And which brings me to my next question: how important is it to have images that reference our truth and us as a whole?
Oh wow, that's representation matters. And we know if our kids can see it, they can be it, they can
Right.
achieve it.
Hmm.
And not just our children, for us it's never too late.
Late. It's
uh,
never too late.
Never too late for anyone, so don't give up on your dreams, don't give up on your hopes, whatever. But again, the power of imagination, though, representation matters.
Yes. Mhm.
And a lot of times, I'll go back to the Down syndrome thing again. I need to create images because there aren't a lot of images of young Black girls with Down syndrome.
Right.
And so I needed to create those images because they were not available. And
Mhm.
so it is so important that we create work that can inspire our children. If we give some of these children this tool right now, they could probably take it and do things that we haven't even thought of, just because they're tech babies. They're tech
Right.
babies. We've morphed into tech people, but they've grown up. That's all they've known. My daughter has had an iPad since she was 2 or 3 years old. So she can work that thing like none other. But again, if we can give these kids, our people, these
Mhm.
tools to create whatever they want. And I've always said, if you can dream it, if you can see it, if they can put it in a movie, it's possible that it already exists. We just got to figure out how to bring it into reality, right, in the here and now. So representation is vital. It's vital.
Right.
And this tool gives us another means of creating images that provide representation for our people.
And when you speak of that, it's volumes because as artists and as people, we have blocks, and we don't know how to get through those blocks. We don't know how to express ourselves. We don't have outlets. We don't really have outlets like that. How important is it as Black culture and Black people to have outlets, creative outlets, to be specific?
Oh, it's very important. No man is an island. And
Mhm.
if we have people that we can partner with, that we can work with, that provide an outlet, that provide inspiration, that provide motivation, that provide guidance, then I think that's a great thing. And that's why, um, as I said earlier, I joined these groups on Facebook: Black Girls and AI Art, or Black Lens, the Black African American Diaspora. I find those kinds of groups and I join those, and I see what we're saying collectively as a people. And
Right.
yeah, and so if we're speaking collectively, positively, you
Hmm.
know, the society has a narrative that it continues to push or want to push. And so we can change the narrative if it's not the narrative that we feel needs to be pushed. We have
Exactly.
the power when we join together to change the narrative. Social media is so powerful.
It
And so
is.
joining these groups on social media gives us a voice. It gives us the opportunity to push our narrative, to show that we're not a one-sided.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not this one thing. We're not just good at basketball. We're not just athletes. We're also artists. We're
Right.
also we're doctors. We're lawyers. It gives us just an opportunity.
Right. We're a mini multiverse. just to
Yes.
put it like that. Like we do a number of things without even knowing that we do. And that's what's amazing to me, because when you look at everything that we have been through, that has usually been our narrative. And to switch it up for once, to switch it up to an eye opener, to like, you see my eyes right now, they get wide every time I think about these things, because not only am I staying right here in my present moment, but I'm foreshadowing myself in the future. So I'm imagining what I look like in the future, not only just me, but the kids, how they're going to grow up, and the mentalities that they will perceive growing up as well. So I'm loving this convo right
And so am I.
here. So as an artist, what has been your most rewarding experience with creating art within the AI realm?
It's just most rewarding thing is being able to share the images like the Comfortably Me, to be able to share these images on Facebook, or the series I did with On This Day in Black History. I did a picture of Sojourner Truth. That
Oh,
is
see,
probably one of my all-time favorites as well. But just being able to share these images and generate conversation and inspire others, hey, jump in there, try it and see what you
right,
come up with. So just being able to spark conversation or to spark imagination
right.
for someone, uh, to me, that's what's most rewarding.
And I like how you just said being able. I just um, not just, but about 2 days ago, I was listening to a lecture, and the ability just to be able to do things, and the simplicity in it just blew my mind, because we don't see how much we take for granted. We don't see how much we procrastinate to get to where we need to be, and we're able we're able to do those things, and it speaks volumes, because we see that we're always in not competition, but we're always on the short end of the stick, when we're actually on the larger end of the stick with these
Mhm.
technologies, and with the rate of the information that's coming out there. We have to be open. We have to be receptive. We have to be the channel, like, for that stuff to come in, and we could manipulate it and add our own twist to it and send it right back out into the public. And that's all it's about.
Yeah.
Um, that's all it's about. Um, yeah,
And for
I
me,
mean,
and for me, and as I said, although I am my server is private, it's also for me about sharing
mhm,
information. It costs nothing to share information. So I and share knowledge. Somebody had to teach me something, and so I
mhm,
don't mind sharing that knowledge. You asked me about the picture of the dog and the prompt that I used, and so the prompt that I used for that was a colorful, abstract line art happy pit bull, front facing, centered on a flat black background, no borders.
no
And
borders.
so, Marcus, I sent that to you. You can share it. For those who are on, they can take it and put it in Mid Journey and see what they get, or whatever tool they use, and see what they get. So,
Right.
sharing cost me nothing. That cost me nothing. I'm not going to monetize this image. I just love it because it looks like my baby.
Mhm.
So it cost me nothing. Even with it, although my server is private, if someone takes that prompt, the same prompt, and put it in, they're not going to get the exact same image.
Right.
So I'm definitely big on sharing knowledge, sharing information. And if you can monetize it, if you can, I see people doing classes on AI on Facebook in these groups all the time. So they've taken their knowledge, and they've monetized it,
Mhm.
and they share what they know, and that's great. But I'm also willing to just give it away, so
Right. For
uh
free.
for free. Yeah, because the technology is here, it's available. So I don't mind sharing what little I know with anybody. And so I've shared that prompt. Hopefully someone can find some joy in using it.
Absolutely beautiful from Dr. Shiz, my AVP.
Thank you, Dr. Chisholm.
Yes, I have two more questions for you. What well, these are really targeted for like artists, up and coming artists and continuing artists who still like feel kind of fear
Hmm.
about sharing their art, about opening new pathways to learning. And so my two questions would be, what role does experimentation play in your work, and how do you handle creative blocks?
Experimentation is everything.
Right.
I mean, if you never try, you'll never know. So jump in there, try it. It's just like with everything else. You have a recipe. And if the recipe doesn't come out right the first time, you taste it and you say, "Oh, I need to add a little more vanilla," or "I added too much salt." So you figure out what you did wrong, and the next time you bake that cake, you make those adjustments.
Right.
And so it's experimental. Again, as I said earlier, you take that prompt and you put it in there. And if it doesn't give you what you want, tweak it and keep tweaking it until you get what you want. But you also have these bots that will help you create prompts. You
Right.
tell it, I want a picture of a family at the park having a picnic on a beautiful day. And so, what do I need to tell my image bot? And it'll help you. And if you tell it, I want a close up shot, I want the black background blurred, it'll give you that technology, that terminology again that you
Mhm.
need to use to produce those images. So you have the option of using Chat GPT, or I think now Google has changed the name of theirs to Genesis.
Gemini.
Microsoft has Copilot. You have all of these tools now, these bots who you can tell, hey, I want to create some AI art, and this is what I want a picture of. Can you give me a prompt?
And
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 it
and
can
while
help
you're
you create prompts.
speaking, Dr. Milton, she's on listening.
Hello, Dr. Melton. Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a great time to share. But so those are the things that you can do to help create your prompt. So experiment, experiment, experiment. It's the
Man.
same thing I say about computers. You can't break it. You may mess something up, but you can't break it. So don't be afraid. So that's steampunk. That is a steampunk image. You can't break it. Don't be afraid to experiment. It's not going to break the system. You're not going to shut down all of the platform just because you tried something. You know.
Right. And my second question was, how do you handle creative blocks? As an artist, we have like a lack of, not a lack of, but sometimes we are flustered, and those thoughts really don't come to us as fluent sometimes. So, how do you handle your creative blocks?
Again, that's by visiting the communities. If I can visit Mid Journey's community and just scroll through pictures that have been created, or you can even search. If I'm trying to do something specific, I can search for those type of images in the community and see what they did and see what they came up with. Or I'm just in the social media looking in my groups and seeing what they're doing. Or just do a little bit of research. Okay, this is what I need. Uh, why? Again, visit the why am I doing this? And so if I can get to the why,
Right.
I think if I understand the why totally, why I want to create the image that I want to create, then that helps me to get through the blocks.
Right.
Okay, so if you can get to the heart of the matter, and
Hmm.
then you can remove the blocks.
Right. And somebody asked if you could elaborate on this piece a little bit more.
Again, this is steampunk, my favorite style of art. And so she's a fusion of past. She's kind of set in the 19th century, and then she's a depiction of what the future looks like. And I love the colors. Blue is one of my, or my, not one of my, blue is my favorite color. And so this spoke to me because of just the colors of blue. I can't remember if I asked for blue in my prompting. I may have, because there is so much blue in this picture, but it also, steampunk incorporates machinery. And so in the background, that could be, good. It could be the front of a train. It could be some kind of steam wheel. It's so much that possibly is. And so this just to me speaks again about the marriage of future and past. And I
And
think I like that so much because it takes me out of the present.
right.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with the present, with what's real, but I'm looking at what happened in the past and what the possibilities are in the future.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. It looks like a time machine back
It
there.
could be a time machine back there. You know, she's gone from the past into the future. She's taken a leap.
And then I like how everything that you said, it really like ties in into the educational realm as well. It creates computational thinkers and it creates critical thinkers. What I mean by critical and computational thinkers, they are able to like break down, say if they were having a block, right? They are able to break down why they're having this block, and then they go sort out, go to the community and see, gain some ideas, gain some clarity, and then they can figure out a pattern. They can figure out a theme, a reoccurring theme in their artwork, and they can just progress and evolve from there. And then not only that, they're also extracting what they want from an image versus what they don't want from an image. So, and then they're creating an algorithmic function as well.
Hmm.
When you tie all three of those things together, you never have a block now. It's more so you're stacking on top of this, that, and it keeps going and going. And if you want to change it, you can. Like you said, you can't break it. It's experimenting. So the more you experiment, the more knowledge you gain, and the more things you could like swift through, and it could dissuade you from not having a creative block. And right here, I love this image right here because I like the gadgets and the gadgets and stuff like that with the eye and with the eye
And
and stuff like that.
and
Can
that's
you
a
explain?
steampunk family. And so I
Yes.
love creating family images of Black families. I love
Mhm.
creating Black family images because, again, we can change narratives. The narrative
Right.
is that, family households are always single Black mothers and the father is absent. So in all of my family shots, there's going to be a father. It's going to be a Black family. And so I love creating images of the Black family. But again, I did it in steampunk. I love, again, steampunk. And to me, this is just an awesome image. It's powerful to me. Again, the eyes are different. We got the technology, we got the gadgets. And to me, it says, hey, to our children, we can create these gadgets. We can be scientists. We can be inventors. We can do all of this.
Right. And it's empowerment. I like this platform and I like everything that we're doing because it's empowerment.
Yes. And so this is Bessie Coleman.
Mhm.
And I did this on this day in Black history. This was one of the images that I created. So she made the first public flight by a Black woman in the United States. And until I started doing this on this day in Black history, I never heard of Bessie Coleman. And so that's why I did it, because there are many Bessie Colemans out there that we've never heard of.
Right. Like one of the pieces that you have, which is Sojourner Truth, she's a mystic to me.
Mm.
I study her a lot, and when I seen that image, I was like, yeah, she's hip. She's know what's going on. Can you pull that up for me right here, Marcus? But
Now
yes,
that one,
people don't really know about Sojourner Truth like that.
that one is the ancestors. To me, that just so that's a powerful image
Mhm.
for me. It's all that our ancestors have endured.
Right. There we go. Right.
That
Yeah.
is one of my all-time favorite images.
There we
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite. I absolutely, when that one rendered, I was like, oh, yes,
go.
yes, yes. Uh, yeah, I absolutely love that image.
And can you also speak on like what does Sojourner Truth mean to you, or how did she influence kind of your process?
Hey, it's all right there in the quote I have there.
Oh, yeah.
Life is a hard battle anyway. If we laugh and sing a little as we fight the good fight of freedom, it makes it all go easier. I will not allow my light's life to be determined by the darkness around me.
Hmm.
And if we can live by that,
Oh
if
man.
we can use that every day, life is a hard battle. But I love laughter. Laughter is good for the soul. I love to sing. To me, music is universal. It
Mhm.
connects us all. So if we can laugh and sing while we're fighting this fight, it makes it all go easier.
Right.
And again, we can't allow the darkness around us to determine how bright our light is going to be. So it's all encapsulated in that one quote.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was great. It was really revealing. It was a lot of eye revealing stuff, and it was educational as well because you explained how to prompt. You got to dig into the crevices of how it could be transformational, not only from a educational standpoint, professional standpoint, but a more professional, not a but a more personal standpoint, and it tackles those three. It tackles those three genres of our being, and I just want to say thank you. This was great. It's brilliant. It's Black Brilliance.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
No problem. And we got my guy Marcus. He's going to close us out.
Thank you, Marcus.
All right, everyone. So this was an amazing, amazing, amazing podcast. So Miss Eula Todd's artwork will be available for digital display actually in our Smart Center, which is at the Avon Williams Downtown Campus, first floor. You can come down and see her art, see all of these great and amazing images anytime from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We are so excited and so grateful to have you come on, Miss Eula, and to experience and talk about your immersive experience with artificial intelligence. We again thank President Glover, Dr. Melton, Dr. Chisholm for allowing us this opportunity to really, really dive into art and dive into this experience, especially during Black History Month. So all throughout the entire month, we are highlighting vision and voices, unearthing Black Brilliance, and we will have amazing artists highlighted all throughout the month. And then on March 1st, we will have a big reception that's actually going to have even more art. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this link, share it with some friends, share it with some family, show them the amazing experience that you had today. Thank you all for joining and have a great day. Bye-bye.